Hi everybody, it's Dara, and we are going to do this again. We're going to tell the North Node stories, what it means when you have your house placement and your North Node is in it. How do you combine the information? So first, if you don't know, the North Node is your spiritual shining star. It literally is like a roadmap to understanding your dharma and for knowing which direction is aligned with your soul's wish for you. It's your dharma, and your south node is your karma. And there's two parts to this. I have two courses, part 1 and part 2. Love you too. So the North Node sign, part 1 of my life tool, is what you need to be, who you need to be, what you need to be doing. And the house placement is what arena, what area of life. So for example, my North Node is in Taurus, so I need to be very Venusian in all that I do. Beautiful clothes, beautiful pottery to eat my beautiful food out of. If I liked wine, I would have a glass of wine. I would enjoy life's simple pleasures. And it's in the 9th house, so I would get the 9th house video. It has an undertone of Sagittarius. So I would also want to know what that 9th house means, because that's the area I'm supposed to be my most Venusian self. So I want to help you guys connect the two, because it takes a little bit of storytelling. And in my guidance sessions, I'm able to go in there and ask questions and see what's going on with you, but I want you to be able to do it yourself. So I have some questions. Hey, Robin. Hey, everybody. So obviously it's quicker, it's more involved than just quick answers, but I want to give you an idea of how you can take a look at the two together, what your North Node sign means and the house placement, like where it landed. And the really exciting thing is that the North Node acts as a lucky charm. So whatever house it's in, whatever arena of life, area of life, if you follow your North Node, spiritual shining star, you will receive blessings in that area in life. Okay? So let's see if we can pull up the question. Okay, we have interested to know what my Taurus North Node means in the 11th house. So you're a Taurus North Node sister of mine, and that would mean that you need to do everything Venusian. And most importantly, we build our self-worth through working hard, making money, not just receiving abundance from somebody else or feeling like the universe is gonna take care of us, which it does. We know that, but it's really not relying on other people's money, OPM. It's our own money. We take care of ourselves. We garner self-worth, and we also are here to enjoy. It's good because our South Node in Scorpio has left us. I mean, there was a lot of trauma and a lot of perhaps abuse and manipulation and control. So I want everyone to understand that each sign has its beautiful, beautiful points, and then there's a lower expression of each sign. So when we talk about the South Node, it is the lower expression of that sign. We take the goodies, the gifts from our South Node, which is the higher expression of the sign, and we can take it with us, and then we are always with our North Node headed. It represents the highest expression, whether that's Scorpio or Aquarius, whether it's Scorpio in the 8th house, whatever. So we're going to talk about it. So basically, Cultivator Kitchen has a Taurus North Node like me. So seeing the things that I do in nature and all of that stuff. And so she is to be Venusian and Taurian in 11th house affairs, which are networking, working in groups, moving humanity forward. We want the words that are related to the 11th house are equality, sustainability, freedom, new technology, new paradigm, new things. So doing beauty in groups, more than one group or one group. So it's doing beautiful things and working and providing for yourself in the 11th house of networking, technology, moving us forward. So you would use your beauty skills and all of that in business. Hey, Ani, honey. So we can go to the next question. Pisces North Node in the 10th house seems contradictory. Now, a lot of them are going to seem contradictory because not everybody has a North Node in the same sign house. For example, if I had Taurus North Node in the 2nd house, which has the undertone of Taurus, then I have to doubly move towards Taurian things, money, making money, all of that. That's supportive. It could be an opposition. Let's say that I had Taurus North Node in the 8th house of Scorpio. That Scorpio kind of, that's my North Node sign, South Node. So it would just mean that there's a story to tell. So this particular Pisces North Node is, your soul is asking you to be more flowy. You're here to be very spiritual. You're here to tap into creativity and the collective unconscious. You are here to not be so on point and so scheduled and so any kind of Virgo lower expression traits like ruinous analysis, being too orderly and getting upset when things don't go according to plan. You're supposed to flow and trust. And then in the 10th house, it would be just, this is for you. So in the 10th house, you would be the spiritual, meditating. I always think of watercolors. I think of artistry, music, arts, things of a softer, fluid nature. And then in the 10th house means that you are here. The 10th house is the arena of leaving a legacy in this world. It's got the undertone of Capricorn. So you are definitely here to make a business out of spirituality. Yeah, and to have an office outside of the house, to be a leader. That is the area of being out in the world and providing for more than just your family. Like if it's the difference between being mom at home and choosing to stay home in your comfort zone of Cancer, the arena of Cancer and home, it would be no, it's like let's make a business. Let's be out in the world. So I hope that helps. I love all these questions because it really is just like storytelling. Astrology is just this language. It's like a flowery language, and you get to see what comes to you. And it's a process of discovery and knowing yourself. So Taurus North Node, another Taurus North Node, sister, working, providing for yourself, being Venusian, in the 5th house arena with the undertone of Leo. So 5th house is the house of celebration, the house of joy. Like, how do you celebrate? So this says to me, you get to like really celebrate. You get to, maybe your business has something to do with how people celebrate or enjoy material pleasures, but mostly, it's about self-expression. You might do some artistry. You might make pottery. You might, it has to do, the 5th house is sports and games and risk-taking and fun and standing out from the crowd, not necessarily staying safe, where you don't get accolades and you also don't have to take responsibility. Also, how to utilize Scorpio South Node in the 11th house. Well, anytime your South Node does have gifts. So, for example, as a Scorpio South Node, I have gifts of seeing. I need to use my gifts in exchange for money, not use my gifts to manipulate a partner or to get a partner to be better and receive abundance that way. It's really important you make your own money and you are grounded, earthy, slow down, solid, stable, and that is what it is. So you use the Scorpio gifts, and you already are a seer, and you already are good at being in a group and moving humanity forward. This isn't the lifetime where you have to worry about moving humanity forward. You get to like express yourself and have fun and enjoy luxury and beauty. Hi, love you. So we're doing this again because earlier I did the video 45 minutes after I posted, 24 hours and 45 minutes after I posted the question, and then all the questions went away. So you got to be on it, and Mercury's in retrograde and blah, blah, blah. So let's see. How to best embody my Capricorn North Node in the first house. Well, both of those are masculine. Capricorn is you're here to be patriarchal, to be an authority, to be a leader, to leave a legacy, to really get out of the house and not be so home, nurturing. You've got the intuition in spades. Now it's time to take all of your caring and your nurturing and be the nurturing leader. And if anybody's North Node is in the first house, it speaks of a lifetime of asking yourself, who am I? Who am I? What do I want? And the answer for you, since your North Node is in Capricorn, the answer is I am a leader. I am an authority. I am serious. I get things done. I accomplish. So we have new to the lingo. What is a step one resource? Hi, I am Wendy Lynn. Well, I made, because I do sessions for people, this was one of the #1 fast track ways to get to know somebody's direction in life. So I developed part 1, the North Node's Life Tool part 1, which you can look up your North Node sign for free. And then for $21, you can buy your North Node video. You can also get the whole bundle, which I highly recommend because we have lots of people in our lives and no one operates in a bubble. And it's really, really good to know what, the people near you when they're tripping up in their South Node, and you can kind of joke with them and say, honey, you're being a little South Nodey, or you can encourage North Node behavior in your children, friends, family, lover, partner. So, and then part 2 is like a PDF. It was like writing a book. I'm obsessed with the North Nodes. It's just a roadmap to joy and your soul's happiness. If the North Node is in the same house sign, because each house has an undertone, a sign undertone. So if it's the same, that means you're supported. If it's opposite, it's doing a dance between the two. It's always a balance between the South Node and North Node. We don't need to leave our South Node forever and a day. Like, I get to be Scorpio sexy and I get to see and be an oracle or be a seer, but it's not really the reach and stretch that the North Node is. So what I feel is that we swing the pendulum all the way to the North Node so that we're reaching, stretching, growing, because the North Node is our medicine to all this karma we've dragged from past lifetimes. Like, it's enough, we've done it, and we need to kind of clear it up. And the North Node's like our medicine to make things better. When we fully swing into our North Node or reach, and we reach high and we're up there, then mindfully and intentionally, maybe at 53, maybe at my age, I get to intentionally choose beautiful things in the South Node. What I really think this applies to is if you have a Cancer Capricorn axis, I think you get to choose to be, let's say you have a Cancer North Node, or your North Node is in the 4th house of Cancer. You really have to focus on home and nurturing and family and choose family first. That doesn't mean later in years, that you don't get to enter into the work world or leave a legacy. You may leave a legacy of everything having to do with your experience or your journey of being very nurturing and mothering and tapping into your inner child and your intuition. You will be an expert, and therefore you can share it. So it's not like drop it and you're done. It's like, let's move away from it, take some goodies, and really reach and stretch and get sparkly. I know because of my Taurus North Node, I made YouTube videos for years, like making beautiful food, celebrating the luxury of beautiful organic produce, and it was fun and simple pleasures. When I started traveling and doing my Taurus stuff, so Taurus is slow and steady, and the North Node placement in the 9th house tells me when I travel, when I'm far away from home, when I'm more than 20 miles from home, my spirit's going to be lit up. I live 3,000 miles away from the place of my birth, and that is energetically correct for a Sagittarius North Node or a ninth house placement. So same old. I'm going to answer yours. Curious about my North Node in Aries. Oh, it's a fifth, sixth house cusp. And I also want to answer about Placidus versus whole system. When it's on the cusp, it's like your tail end of, you've done fifth house stuff. You're like reaching the end of it. You're kind of embarking on sixth house being of service. You may take some fun and joy and celebration and start, helping others to feel that way. The Aries archetype, and this is all like storytelling and archetypes, and it's so rich. Aries is like the protectress, the warrior, speaking up for yourself and speaking up for maybe those who don't have a voice. That really goes with the sixth house. Hey, mama. It really goes with the sixth house of being of service. Wondering about Aquarius North Node in the 8th house. Because you have an 8th house placement and the undertone is Scorpio, if you get an inkling to let something go, chances are you should. I wrote a beautiful, beautiful piece on this particular house placement. I am passionate about the Scorpio North Node and the 8th house placement because it does sound scary. You have to let go of a lot, because if you don't, the universe will do it for you. But what you garner and what you gain and what you came in here to have, and it's your birthright, is an internal power that is the best thing you can have, just this internal strength. So you might, with your Aquarius North Node, need to travel, need to let go, for sure. Of course, it depends on other things in the chart, which leads me to, someone asked me the question, I'm confused. When you look at your natal chart, there's different systems, there's a bunch of different systems, and usually astrologers are either talking about the whole house system, which divides them, anyway, whole house or Placidus. I've been using Placidus for like ever, and when I looked at the whole house system, the only thing that changed in my chart was the sun went from the 4th house to the 5th house. And a lot of people who know me say you're definitely 5th house, which would mean that I need to be using the whole house system. I will leave it up to you. You'll find out how to look up your North Node sign and your North Node house on my website for free. You'll decide what you want to do with the natal chart. But either way, I would say if the North Node changes due to the different systems you use, then I would go with the one that feels most like you. So does that make sense? Well, I was going to answer the questions that came in earlier, but I'll do Sassy Little Frassy. I just love that name. What career direction for Taurus North Node, another Taurus North Node sister, in the 4th house? Cancer, so Taurian, Cancery, cozy career seems like what? That could be running childcare from home. That could be having a home office. It could be having a business or passive income or some kind of thing where you are nurturing and feeding others. It could be literally feeding others. It could be protecting others. It's like the mama lion. It's the mom. It's your inner child and taking care of your inner child, feeling at home within yourself, not being so worried about being out in the world and legacy and all of this entrepreneurial stuff. It's like, it could be childcare. It could be literally childcare of adults. You're here to get in touch with your emotions and feelings, so you will be an expert at showing others how you do that. It could be so many things. 4th house is a beautiful, beautiful, 4th house has a Cancer undertone. So if you have Cancer North Node or 4th house placement, if you have a choice between choosing your family or going out to work, it's home and family. If you are following what other Instagrammers say to do for business, probably not. You will be a leader in showing us how it's done to feel at home in ourselves. Family business, in business with someone from your family. It's very, there's lineage, there's karma, there's past lives, there's this life, there's everything kind of at your feet. Like, around you, home, family, the earth beneath your feet. And this is a good question. What if it doesn't align, meaning your north node, with your career goals? Aries north node in the 6th house, but I feel called towards fantasy and art, which doesn't really serve others. Fantasy and art does. Art is so important. Art brings beauty to this world. Art can speak for things that don't have words, like artistry and fantasy and storytelling, and that is being of service. That's actually physical. Virgo, the 6th house, has an undertone of Virgo, so it's in service to others. Maybe when you create your art, a portion of the proceeds can go to your favorite charity. Maybe you just, it's not career, but maybe you just regularly bring food to a neighbor in need, or serve the homeless, or the 6th house is very nutrition, health, order, healing. It's a healing trajectory. And you, with your Aries North node, are on a constant search for who you are. So it can change. Make peace with your North node, because there's beauty in each one. And sometimes you have to just really think about how it applies to you. Sometimes it takes a little time and growth. Like, it's simple and monumental information the way I delivered it, but you have to let your imagination go with it. Like, what does it mean? Like, what does 6th house mean? It means a whole bunch of things. It's not just being of service to others, like bringing someone a cookie or food. It could be helping somebody get their body in shape. It could be an attention to healing and getting someone on a program. It could be caring for little animals. That's 6th house. So it's a whole body, a whole arena. It's never just one thing. So you have to figure out how it applies to you, and take the information and just do little things. Use your imagination. If you know you have Aries North node and you know that it's fire, how can you add more fire into your life? Can you maybe do some Kundalini breathing to make internal fire? Maybe you can turn around and just say what you think without really thinking about how it's going to affect others. Like, there's so many little ways to activate your North node. So Ceci, my words never come out right, but I'm a Gemini North node in the 10th house. Suggestions. Well, remember that our North node is not our comfort zone. It is not what we've been trained or practiced at. It's not just like, we can't do it with our hands tied behind our back like we can our South node. So with your Gemini North node, you've been a Sagittarius, like, you just know stuff. Like, it's almost like doing details is boring, but in the details is your medicine. And really stopping to pay attention to who your audience is and simplifying what you're saying and making the communication quick. The 10th house does mean that you are here to be an authority. I'm hearing that you're going to be like teaching. It's writing, teaching, selling, definitely business. Ceci, you definitely have business to do. But really, I recommend the videos, and the videos are the North Node part 1, and then part 2 is a PDF, like a long PDF that's you can refer to always, and there's a video supplement with it, and I just highly recommend them. So I'm going to go to the other questions, but right now, sassy little Frassy, Sun. 12th house, please. Aquarius North Node. 12th house is magical. 12th house, I had to think about this a lot because I never really liked the old way or the old description or whatever I've heard about the 12th house, because it sounds scary, right? They talk about institutions and jails. But what I've discovered is that it's the house of a whole bunch of things, but it's the house of things that are behind walls or behind bars or not being talked about. It's like what is hidden. You're here to get in touch with things that are hidden or work with institutions or in the arena of Neptune is the planet. So Neptune is the highest octave of love. It's the god of the sea, everything magical and underwater. So you take a dive, you float, you sit by the sea or a body of water, and you get messages from the divine. That sounds like spiritual retreats, going to them, having them, being a part of a group. You're here to help us all move forward, and you are tapped into the collective unconscious, Sun. Everything, yes, Brooke, Alicia, do the house undertones intermix with our planetary placements, 100%. I didn't really go into it, although I will say that the North Node acts like a lucky charm. So wherever your North Node is, if you act according to your North Node sign and in that arena, you will get blessings. Whatever planets are near them, if it's malefic, benefic, it doesn't matter, they get boosted by the North Node. So the planets that are in the same house as your North Node tell some more clues as to what you should be doing in that arena, right? Christine, I would love to hear work advice for Aquarius in the 10th. It will be in a group. Could be technology, could be, it's definitely group activities or moving groups forward. Your creativity will come when you're in a group. So I would recommend to get ideas for you is to really join groups, as many as you feel, and see what happens, because that's when your creativity is going to spark and your sense of fun and opportunity. So you need people. And I'm going to look at some of these questions that people... Yeah, Light with Layla. My North Node in Libra, first house. So, like I said, Placidus and whole signs or whole house system are just two different ways to pull up a natal chart in astrology. And a lot of people like the whole system better. And I've always used Placidus. I encourage you to... Somebody's yelling. There's crazy energy outside today. I was like, oh. And I get so affected. It's funny. She's like freaking out. Okay. What that is Pisces. That's a Pisces South Node. That's like Pisces has an element to not be part of society, not fitting in well. And that feels very the lower expression of Pisces. So I would say if your North Node switches based on whichever system you use to see which one feels correct, you are welcome. I can tell the story of this. Okay, could you help me tell the story of Scorpio in the second house? Okay, so Scorpio is the big bad boy, right? Like, you come from lifetimes of being Taurus, working, making money, collecting money, filling the bank, me, mine, not so sharing. And now you're here to share with your Scorpio North Node. You're here to see into another and help them to be powerful and accept money and help yourself. It's a little more psychologically thrilling than... I gotta get my phone. It's more psychologically thrilling than like, here's my things. And anyway, so in the second house, so you're being called to be Scorpio and to go deep and to unearth psychological things in others, or be a detective in some way. Scorpio is very forensic. Scorpio is sex, power, death, transformation. You have to be willing to let go. So you will be in the practice for your life and reaching for your North Node in the practice of, how do I let go? Do you have an inkling that something needs to go? A sofa, a sweater, a friend, a lover, a family member, a house, a job. Let it go. Because if you don't, something something powerful that feels bad could happen from the universe. So your practice is to let go. And in learning how to let go, and for any of us in learning how to be our North Node selves, we become expert at it because we're doing it from like ground zero. It's like, talking about something that you're learning is so good for other people because you're in the practice. You're not like so seasoned at it that you forget how to start. But so get this. So it's Scorpio North Node, which means the South Node is Taurus, but it's in the second house with the undertone of Taurus. So that tells me that you are here to work, that you are probably here to be a scorpionic person, being a detective, being a seer, being a psychologist, being an intuitive, being anything scorpionic that you'll learn, and then doing it to make money. And you will have a dance between the two. Sometimes you're going to have to slow down and get steady and solid, and sometimes you will be going deep, but most likely I think you'll be your Scorpio self in your field of work. Yeah, eager suitcase with your Scorpio North Node with 5 other Scorpio placements. What you do let go. In all those years, I did extreme sport decluttering on YouTube, and what I really, because I was Scorpio South and I'm quite good at it, which is a gift actually, but you let go. And it's not like being a little child who has to give up their toys and then be bored. It's like you're giving up something to welcome in something else that's just so much more powerful. And you can teach empowerment. You can have this, people can feel this sense of power from within, from you. I think Scorpio is fascinating. It's really like a magnificent North Node. I want to just let everyone know that the important thing is to find beauty in your North Node and in your North Node placement, because they're all magic. And when you do it, the blessings will come. So, then you combine, if you're Libra Moon and Libra Sun, and you've got that Venusian thing, how can you make be peace and harmony and still go deep? Maybe you go deep and you're able to do all this, forensic stuff, and then you still have beauty and harmony. You'll always be beautiful. But it's just reaching. It's like, how can I give a nod to my North Node daily? So let's see what we got. Aries North Node in the 6th house. Does this mean my calling is related to work? I would say that, that's so funny. We had 2 in the last video that I did, where 2 Aries North Node in the 6th house. And what I got for you guys is that Aries is the protectress. She's got fire. She's pretty badass. And 6th house is serving others. So to me, Aries is speaking your truth. First, you got to know your truth. Second is minute to minute, what do you want, and speak it. And then in the 6th house is in service to others. So you could be, and it's others in need, and it's also little animals. So start thinking about ways that you can actually physically be of service in health, in beauty, in fitness, in any kind of regimented in service to others work. Even if it's just volunteering, it doesn't have to be your career. Let's see. What we got? How's this? Oh, there. Okay. We have Elsky. Thoughts on a projector. Pisces North Node in the 7th house career-wise. Okay. So, first we take it piece by piece. As a projector, we really need to be efficient with our time. I always think of schooling, I was always aware that regular school was just kind of like a waste of time for actual learning. So we need to be efficient with our energy. So usually that's being a consultant, or at least definitely being seen as a seer, what you do. And with the Pisces North Node, you did come here to see. You did come here to be very spiritual and very perhaps creative, perhaps leading meditations, definitely meditating. Everything Pisces is music, the arts, it's fantasy, it's film, it's meditation, it's spirituality, it's gifts of being tapped into the collective unconscious. And the 7th house is the arena of partnerships. It's the arena of being contracted in with someone, like a committed relationship. So that's your medicine. So being spiritual and being in beautiful partnerships. is important. So I would say that anytime you are in a partnership as a coach, you could be a coach, you could be involved with a life coach could be helping you, counsel of any kind. It will help get you to understand, but definitely being in partnership in business. So maybe you wouldn't be in charge of the numbers because that's very Virgo, your south node. So do you see how this is all storytelling? Hey, SPFFF. Aries north node sharing Jupiter and midheaven in the 9th house. So the midheaven is always on the cusp of the 9th and the 10th house, yes? So you have Jupiter, I'm guessing in the 9th house? Yes. So that means you get great joy out of traveling. And if your midheaven is in, I'm guessing Sagittarius, it's a little bit, I'm not totally clear. I know for your Aries North node, you're constantly on a discovery of who you are. With Jupiter in the 9th house, you should definitely know astrogeography, which you do. The best line to live on with your Aries North node to pull you out of being too Venusian or being too concerned with peace and harmony over what you need, then I would say a Mars line would be great for you to kind of get a dose of that. And of course, Jupiter, a Jupiter line. Ayurveda girl. I'm a little confused about the relationship of the Aquarius North node working with the collective piece with the letting go theme of the 8th house. Okay, so let's see if we can tell a little story. And please, you guys remember that this is little snippets and things that the way I tell the story, but you really need to start intuiting and really feeling the fact that, let's say, Ayurveda girl, she is here to definitely not make it about herself, which is the Leo South node, use her starry and almost like there's a huge magnetism to the Aquarius North nodes because they come from lifetimes of being Leo, of being a rock star, of being, having everybody do things for them. And now it's like time to hold hands and eat communally and joint projects, being lending your fabulous nature to a cause or a number of them. So that's the Aquarius North node. And then when you think about it being in the arena of the 8th house, this is an interesting one. I do have to say I understand your confusion. Some of them are a little trickier, like how does that work? The 8th house doesn't mean that you need to let go of the groups that you're working in, although it might. The 8th house arena means sometimes when we want to figure out what does our house placement mean, we look to the South Node house placement. So for you, we'll look to, you were in the past in the Taurus second house arena, really super concerned with your stuff, your money, your sense of self. You didn't have lifetimes of even thinking about spirituality. Or going deeper into things of the occult, of what's really going on in the world past what you could eat, see, drink, and have. So you're really your soul is really asking for you to be very spiritual and very power for you coming from knowing things like on a deeper level rather than collecting. So that's how we would look at yours, and you would lend, let's see about this. I would say it would be good for you to be in relationship with others, to really have soul connection. The 8th house is like not going to be satisfied with just like a nice companion who likes the same things that you do. It's like eye-to-eye connection and connecting really spiritually. That's the big thing. So we look to understand our north node, where we're headed. We really need to understand our south node. So letting go of what most people think is important to garner in this lifetime. I mean, things are changing, but it's been like, you got to have this, you got to have the latest this. If you don't have this, that's not how you're going to show who you are. It's going to be like by your amazing insight. So you could offer insights at an event or a group. You could share your gift for eighth house is being forensic in things of like estates, complicated papers, complicated relationships. You have an affinity for how to decipher. So you really could use your skills to decipher what the heck's going on in an organization or a group. Does that help? There's so much to say about it. It takes some time and to really it's like a story. Where we got here? Let me go back. These are a lot. Everybody has questions and it's beautiful. I don't know that I'm going to answer all of these. There's so many. And we'll do these regularly. Like if yours didn't get answered now, I'm going to answer one that is going to cover oppositions. So if sometimes your north node, somebody's north node is in, Taurus north node in the second house gives a whole Taurus trajectory, right? Possessions, nature, beauty, simple, slow. If it's opposing and in opposition, like this north node in Cancer in the 10th house, it's opposing because with the north node in Cancer, the south node is in Capricorn. But the north node landed in the 10th house, which it has an undertone of Capricorn, which makes the south node the 4th house, which is Cancer. So basically, in a nutshell, the north node, Cancer, has landed in the house of Capricorn. So, but it seems like it's incompatible and incongruent, but it's not, because it's a dance between the two. So there'll be a dance between home and being out in the world. But it just may be that you're supposed to be really mothering, really nurturing in matters in a workplace, right? You can bring that mothering and the caring and be a leader who cares. You can be somebody who brings, the muffins and make sure that everybody's comfortable and make sure everybody's following their intuition in your work. So the 10th house is, I have to say that the north node landing in the 10th house means that you do need to have a career or leave a legacy. It doesn't just mean you're supposed to stay at home. So you might show people how it's done to be in touch with their intuition or their inner child or their creativity or their past history or their karma or their past lives or their homes or anything having to do with all those things. And as you can see, Cancer is just like everything. It's the moon, it's the divine feminine, it's intuition, it's food, it's nurturing yourself, it's your home, and it's your home within you. So that's your what? That's your whole field. That's your whole who you are is the divine feminine, and you can leave a legacy about it. Does that make sense? December studio, what do you want me to speak on? Aw, Scorpio North Node in the 12th house. You got it. Scorpio North Node, power, deep. Both of them are deep diving, right? Both of them are being in touch with what is not seen by most. So you really came here to be a seer. You really came here to be spiritual, and that is just your trajectory. Diving deep into the earth and pulling out crystals and bringing them to light, meaning like deep dive into someone's psyche, into what's really going on, and then bringing it up. You're allowed to go there. You're also allowed to go under the sea. Like you're deep diving and deep earth digging. You're so welcome, Sarah. I'm glad to know. Sarah like Dara. I know your Instagram handle. And you're always so lovely, Sarah. You're always sharing. I appreciate when you guys share because it's letting other people know how they can find their joy, and it's helping me, and it's just beautiful when you do. So I want to thank you. I do notice. You're welcome, Post Haste. So isn't this, what do you guys feel about, do you feel like it's too hard to understand what the North Node means in your house? Do you feel like this is helping? Do you feel like hearing this is the question. Does hearing how I do it or how I think about it help you with your own? That's what I want to know. Because I like to demystify things. Okay, good, Olivia. Because I had this feeling that if you heard how I did it, it wouldn't seem so opposite. Okay, yay. This makes me happy. Then I will do them regularly. Because I hate to have had released these life tools and then have people not know what to do with it. And there was no way to do all the combinations. There's just no way. I can only share with you my way of like looking. Yes. Oh, you just gave me chills post haste. Being too literal or is restrictive. It's really storytelling. It's really like, how can I fully understand Scorpio North Node? How can I fully understand the second house? So see green, we just went over an opposition, but I'm going to do it again because your North Node seems to be opposite. It's opposite. Your Scorpio North Node, where you're headed, is in the house of the energy of what you're leaving behind. But it really tells me the Scorpio North Node means that you are a seer. It's psychology. It's assisting somebody else to be powerful. It's helping other people understand where they're tripping up psychologically. It's North Node stuff. It's all the South Nodes. Like if you wanted to help people, knowing their South Nodes, you can dig into South Node stuff. So that's your what, like you can see deep, you can help people with traumas, with abuse, for things that they don't want to talk about. And then you do it for money. That's the second house. You have to provide for yourself. So there's an element to you seeing into another, of course. And if you're in partnership, you are allowed to help your partner to become more powerful. You really do need eye to eye, eyeball to eyeball, soul to soul connection. You need to feel deeply connected, but you are also supposed to be making money and also do the things that I do, like making tonics and having beautiful things, but really I think filling the bank with money. Oh, you guys. Oh, thank you, Sassy Little Frassy. I have Gemini on the midheaven. I'm here to break it down. And I also have Neptune in the third house. So I take these spiritual concepts and I break them down into simple, palatable ways. So let's see. Calore. How about Capricorn North Node in the second house as well? Capricorn North Node, here to leave a legacy, here to be an authority, here to be a leader, here to get your fanny out of the house. Because your comfort zone is way comfy. Your comfort zone is Cancer. I'm a Cancer moon, homey, cushy, comfy. But you do need to, you will always be a warm and nurturing person who knows how to make a home and nurture others, but you need to, it's time to like bring yourself out into the world. And that's a double earth thing, right? Capricorn is earth. It's masculine, and the second house is Taurus. So you definitely need to make money, and things having to do with beauty, things having to do with the earth, with wine, with anything Venusian. I hope that helps. Okay, Elsie Page, Pisces 11th house. Oh, it sings of retreats to me. It sings of people being in a group of people meditating, being in a group of people doing art, lending your sensitivities and your flow and your loving nature to a group where you would not be. You would be like the spiritual teacher, you would be the art teacher, you would be making film, maybe you would make films, or it's very healing. Like Pisces is healing just by its presence. It reminds me of the Pisces North Node or the 12th house placement. I always think of like Amma the hugging saint. She heals you with a hug. That's different from a doctor or a nurse who has a clipboard in their hand. So you're supposed to put down the clipboard and like sit and meditate and let the answers come to you. And then in the 11th house, that's for the whole collective. So you would be doing these things and advancing us in some way. You might be using technology to share your meditations. There's so many different variables, so many different ways to creatively use this information. When I do sessions, I can get further into and see the rest of your chart and talk to you more and feel you. So I want you to know that it's on point. I'm so glad. So maybe I'm just picking up intuitively because there are so many possibilities. They're endless, really. So you're welcome. Please do get the videos and the PDF. You will be happy. I have not, Mara or Mara? Is it like Dara? Have you already gone over Leo in the 12th house? I have not. Offhand, you're supposed to use your fun, your creativity, your sense of fun, your self-expression, your art to benefit maybe an institution, maybe people who need your help, maybe expressing things of a hidden nature through art, through I'm getting self-expression for you and using your starriness to help things, maybe make some things fun that aren't necessarily thought of as fun, like bringing some laughter to a situation. Lola, I have to get my phone because I don't know who was texting me before. I want to make sure I'm not missing somebody. I was going to see my friend David, and I didn't hear from him. Okay, we're good. So, Libra North Node, some charts say it's in the 12th house, others say it's first house cusp. I would say that you're entering a whole new... I would say, do you feel like you're done with the Pisces 12th house stuff? Like, do you ready for it to be me, or do you still have some remnants? It's at that point, if it's cusp or if there's any question, you have to feel what's right for you, and it might take further investigation. Okay, here we go. So, okay, great, yes. I love that. That's so yes. North Node Aquarius. I'm thinking technology, group scientist, inventor in the first house. She must be Capricorn Sun because that's not the first house. It's not Capricorn. The first house is undertone of Aries. So her first house, Aries, anybody who was the first house North Node placement, the whole life is like self-discovery. You may change a lot. You should change a lot. So, faith. Virgo North Node in the 7th house. Virgo North Node. You've been lifetimes of flowy and spiritual and huggy, and you understand how life works with your Pisces South Node, and you're here to container it. Like literally, try to fit in, get credentials. It kind of speaks of like the 7th house placement, a partnership or counsel or coaching. Could be relationships. You could be getting certified to do something. But certainly having a partner. You've got to have a partner in business and in love. Grounding. Get your feet on the earth. Just do grounding every day and put your things in containers. That's my advice for you. Cursa Elena, Capricorn Sun in the 5th house. Pisces Moon, 7th house. So I'm not totally clear. Scorpio North in the 3rd house. Thank you, Cursa. Okay, so you've got the badass Scorpio North node where you were here to let go. You are here to deep dive. You are here to see into what I would call like psychological. It's like psychological thriller. It's like you're here to help. You're here to transform either a partner, in work, help others understand. Because of the third house placement, and that's Gemini, you could take very, very deep subjects like occult subjects and break them down so we can understand it, much like what I do. Of course, there's more, Cursa, like there's so much more. I'd have to see more and hear more, but start thinking of it in terms of that. You are here to be a seer. Eager Suitcase, you went to double check and your North Node Scorpio is in the 5th house. You could make deep diving fun. You could be a comedian about it. You could make it celebratory to like dig deep, help others transform. You could make transformation fun. It could be through art, right? It could be through games, sport. Yeah, you would make the Scorpio stuff fun. Like you would like burn it all up. Like, I'm letting go of all this and I'm going, it's risk-taking. You have some risk-taking to do. You're so welcome, Lola. I didn't realize you were here. You rock too. Capricorn North Node, 12th house. Well, you're here to, Starry Fates, you are here to lead us. You are here to accomplish. And it may have to do, the 12th house is interesting. I'm going to want to hear from some of you guys how you, what arena you are partaking in the 12th house, because it's jails, it's institutions, it's information that's hidden. Mostly I feel about the 12th house is that you are definitely here to uncover hidden things in your own life, and in doing so, wherever we cover whatever's been hidden, it could be some body of work. You're so welcome, Eager Suitcase. I'd like to transform my work in holistic skincare to be fun. Make it fun. Like you are here to like glamour. It's glamour you are up to. And using your sweet face. Oh, Yiska Yvonne. I'm a numerologist with Pisces North Node. Perfect, because it's the world of spirituality in the 12th house. You're like double dose of magic, and I'm getting chills for you, spirituality, and step away from the Virgo particular nature and don't think and feel and float and flow. That's beautiful. Numerology is a little, it's funny, it's probably using some of your Virgo gifts, because Virgo feels like numbers to me. It feels like someone who's good at bookkeeping and details. Just don't be too detailing. And anytime you feel like you're analyzing too much or you're disappointed when plans change, lie back, take a bath. Mara, 12th house North Node, and you do a lot of inner work. That's the 12th house, is inner work, and being a therapist would be amazing. But your sun is Virgo. Yeah, I was feeling you got some Virgo, but sometimes, you know, the Virgo is like, I have Virgo rising, and Virgo's just like, it makes you particular about things, and the standards are high, I think. So, but you have your double North Node, I think, Yiska trumps your sun. I don't know. I feel like it's just, it's a dance, right? Can I talk about dating people whose South Node is in conjunction with your North Node? I'd have to see, and I think it would be each, maybe that's a future video. Anything's feasible. Is the relationship feasible, or is it feasible to me to talk about it? It's not feasible at this moment because I've done 2 lives, but it is an interesting topic that I would like to touch on. So I think I only have a couple minutes left. There's an ending to this party. I love you all, and we'll do future storytelling about the North Node and its house. Just remember, it's your lucky charm. So whatever house it's in, go look it up on my website. That arena is your area of blessings. So big hugs, everybody. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the attention to these exciting North Node matters, and I will see you super soon.